We have my hugest inspiration in the whole wide world with us today. Eli Lu in the building, okay? Sound mind. What's the importance of having a sound mind? I know the meaning behind sound mind. Shout out to the Bible.
Give it to him.
But what's the importance of having a sound mind?
It's interesting. Well, one for the project, it sort of has a double meaning. Sound mind, of course, a biblical explanation, and then we are conscious, thought provoking people. So we knew that this cinematic mixtape was going to be thought provoking and conscious. So we were like, if you listen to sound to reach your mind, like so sound mind. But on the flip side, music and then mind. But on the flip side, having a sound mind, the whole project, someone asked us if it was 12 different things and then we just put it together, or if it started out as one whole thing. It started out as 12 things. Like we knew we were going to do 12 from the beginning, and as one project, and everything kind of fell under the category of having a sound mind, because the world is crazy. So like, how do how do you maintain in a crazy world? We had like Habakkuk or however people say it. That piece originated because we had a few people who had lost people, and they were very they prayed, and they were always in church, and it was sort of like, heck, how do you come out of that? People think that like faith is like a genie, or like you're exempt from the rest of the world. It don't work like that. Nope. So when you're hit with all the human things possible, you have to be able to deal with it in the same sense. But when you're broken down, breaking me down, or you're stereotyped, or like all these things, all the topics. The epidemic is about the drug epidemic in the 80s. Coming out of that, and just same old river was about we used like black dock workers and maids in the 1930s, but we're still going through that today when you're in the same spot and you don't feel like you're moving. So everything we talked about is how do you maintain your mind in the midst of all of this.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I guess, how do I come behind that? But when I think about also sound mind, like the last piece when I said it was more personal, I remember I just real quick in middle school. Should I say, well, Shoemaker Middle School, at the time that we were there, was like the movie Lean on Me, if you ever seen it. And it was
Mr. Clark, Mr. Clark.
Exactly. I mean, the beginning part was
we didn't have a Mr. Clark though.
We didn't have a Mr. Clark though. We definitely didn't. It was almost like the kids were in school to the point that we got put on lockdown in our 8th grade year, where we weren't allowed to leave our classrooms. It was like a prison. That's what it felt like. The teachers rotated, not the students.
Lock all the doors.
So if you was in the hall, it was automatically suspended because no one was supposed to be in the halls. But anyway, I remember there was paper flying everywhere, and this guy who worked there, Mr. Kinder, looked in, and I remember this paper went right by my face, and I was doing my work. Like I just zoned out the whole class, and he called me out of class. I thought I did something, and all he asked was, "How do you do it?" I said, "Do what?" He said, "Well, all this chaos going on." I just saw the paper fly by your head. He said, "You didn't even budge. You just kept working." And I was like, and I saw it, and I didn't think that he would be walking by and notice that. And I was just like, well, faith in God, I'm just focused. And he was like, I've never seen anything like it. And he walked back to class and walked away. He was just so amazed by that. But when I think about that situation, and we kind of always grew up and been this way in terms of the world is kind of like that. Like, how do you keep focused when everything around you is crazy, or if everybody else is doing this over here, I don't got to follow what everybody else is doing. Because I have a sound mind. And I think, our grandmother instilled that into us young, that, even if we didn't have the latest shoes or the latest this, like, you can joke me and I never care. Even back in middle school, I never cared about any of that stuff. So, just looking at those moments in life and comparing it to, what happens now, it's the same thing. Everything going on crazy around you. We live in Philly. We hear gunshots. How do you stay focused? How do you get through your day? So,
and not operating out of the spirit of fear.
Fear, right?
But power, love, and a sound mind. So
Let's go. I'm right there with you.
I mean, so many different ways to take it. In each film, if you think of sound mind, and this is kind of what we would do, watch each film and then think about the sound mind part of it.
Without being preachy, because like it's the message is there, but it's for anybody. It doesn't matter the background.
So. We always try to use our content and say, how do I mean, it's nice to preach to the choir, but sometimes I want to reach the people who aren't in the pews, you know what I mean, aren't in on the streets. Even with Habakkuk, that was kind of the purpose with that. Like, I think your line was, I can reach you where you are in the streets for church. Because people say, you run up in the hood, how could God be there? So
Yeah, man.
That's deep, 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 deep.
For real. And speaking of bars, like, because y'all definitely have thought-provoking content, like from the "they don't care about us" challenge to like to bro, I had that on repeat. Like,
I'm telling you, like those cadences, I was like, oh,
Every time I'll be like, when did I? I'm like, oh, we did do that. I forgot.
Well, it's fun. We've been rapping since 7th grade, back in that lean on me type situation in school. But we've been rapping since the 7th grade, but our family and friends have never heard it. So all of our friends called and was like, wait, where did this come from? But we've been writing since 7th grade. I think 9/11 was when in 7th grade where I started writing like material, because it was still pretty fresh in terms of, I think only like 2 years after like elementary school. So we've been writing raps for a long time. We're just now
sharing, I guess. Yeah, it was just a hobby at one point.
yeah, because I mean, I'm talking about rap, sing, poetry, like film. Like, I'm talking about like it's a one-stop shop right here. Direct, like, you know what I'm saying? Camera, lighting, like, like a whole production entertainment team, like in one. Like that, like you're all you need. Like, what you need?
It's unified too, which I like. It's all under one house and everybody's moving similarly and everybody's on one accord. Like I walked into the setting and I'm like, oh, okay. This person was doing this thing, this person was doing that thing, and Eli Lu was doing their own thing. And I was like, yo, this is a well-oiled machine. Let me hop in. Hold on.
Very intentional. Very intentional. They are
with the food and how it was coming out like a semi line. I was like, oh, because we
be just as shocked. We be just as working.
I was like, oh, okay. I mean, because that was the first time epidemic, I would say, we did a full. I mean, because we can be nervous when there's a lot of people on set, and then you got to be worried about making sure the forks in the background match when the scene cut. Look, it was a lot, but again, having that team and that support is what you need. So
it's like you come with your spirit of excellence, and it makes everything else have that same, like, if you set that bar, like you can only go higher when you have people that are like-minded on your team, because they're not going to fall behind. They're going to keep right up with the pace and the excellence and y'all demonstrated on every single film, which is why it's so successful.
Like, delivered, okay.
Thank you. That means a lot. I think our team definitely a reflection of us. It took us a year, like over a decade, to get like a team, and even when I say team, I mean it's like an extended team. So it's not always the same project. Like, we mix it up. People go off and do their own thing and come back. We support them and vice versa. That is really important, especially in filmmaking, because if you don't have a community, kind of like, I got her, but like it was just us. We still be like, struggling to pull things off. So
I would say one more thing about that. The funny thing about that was learning to have that trust in a team. We went like 10 years without a team, and it's because one, I always thought we couldn't get a team, and that not everybody's going to agree with the vision that we had, or everybody's not going to get it. But once you get past that part and stop being selfish with your vision, your dream, because what you're doing is blocking. And I feel like sometimes, I mean, I keep forgetting my age. We're 31 now, I guess.
Come through, word.
But
she's been figuring
ever since I hit 30, I just keep forgetting now. Or maybe it's the pandemic. I told somebody the wrong age last week, and I was like, wait, that's not how it
We lost a year or two, man. We don't know anymore.
Right.
She's like, oh yeah, I'm 30. I'm like, you're not. You're definitely
like
32 in November. But
right. But anyway, and I felt like in our 20s, we kept doing this thing where it's just us. And I felt like we would have been farther along had we not blocked our own blessings by not getting a team, because we felt like we couldn't get a team. Sometimes your mind can keep you from growing. And once we got a team, our team had to say, Eli Lu, I know y'all do a lot of stuff, but listen here. If you got a team, let us do it. Let us, Let us be great. Let me do the reason why you brought me on here. So it was really hard to kind of fall back. It's like the bride at a wedding. You know, they want to be downstairs up fixing the plates when she's supposed to be upstairs. You know what I mean? It's that type of thing. So even with broken tables, it was like just learning that you have a team. You know, they're great at what they do. Trust them, and then everything's gonna move. So
Dropping
I'm trying to
gems.
tell you,